6 years ago, when I was about 19, I was staying the night at my two best friends' house. All three of us were sleeping on the bed, and I woke up in the middle of the night. There was a girl around 6 or 7 years old just standing at the foot of the bed, looking at us. I was so freaked out, I just kept looking back at her. I was too scared to do anything. She slowly faded away. I swear this really happened, but I'm not sure if it was a ghost or if it was somehow I was semi-awake and I dreamt it. Definitely the scariest thing I have ever experienced though, regardless of if it was my imagination or really a ghost. I didn't tell my friends for a couple of months because I didn't really believe in it, so I thought they definitely wouldn't. Then, a few months after I saw the girl, they were telling me how one night they were in their room and they heard children laughing in the living room. They went to their bedroom door to listen better, and when they got to the door, there was a loud bang on it, like somebody had hit it. They ran out of the room thinking someone was in their house, but when they checked the house, there was no one there and all the doors were still locked. I told them about the girl I saw, and then they told me what happened to them. My first experience was when I was about 5 years old. It was at my parents' house. Here's a layout of the house to make you understand it a little bit better. When you walk through the front door, you're basically in the living room area. Then you go straight, you're into the kitchen. And to the right is a hallway. Down the hallway is my old bedroom. And the door past my old bedroom is my mum and dad's. And the room I was sharing with my sister at the time is down the hallway a bit further. And then the bathroom is to the left. So one day I was laying in my bed. I used to sleep with the door open, so when I looked up from the bed to the doorway, I saw a black figure standing there staring at me. I hid my face in my blanket until it went away, but it came to the bed and ripped off my blanket. So I screamed as loud as I could, and then I ran to my mum's room. I never see it again after that, but at the time I was absolutely terrified. Another time I was about 12 years old, and I was in the living room with my mum and dad. Me and my mum were leaving to go to the store, and dad was sitting on the couch by the front door. Mum standing in front of him talking to him, and I was standing in the front of the hallway waiting to leave. I looked down the hallway for some reason, and I saw a man walk from the bathroom to my mum and dad's room. My dad must have read my reaction from my face because he could tell there was something up, and he jumped straight up to investigate. I remember him running up to his bedroom and having a look inside, and all I remember is seeing him go dead quiet, and he turned white and wouldn't speak about anything for the rest of the night. He must have saw something in that bedroom as well as I did, and he just didn't want me to get scared. When I was a child, I lived in an old Victorian house, and I would always hear laughing while I was trying to sleep. I was an only child with a single mother, and when I was about 5 or 6, I would wake up hearing laughter in the hallway in the middle of the night. After mentioning this to my mum, she swore it was probably just the TV being left on late. One night I awoke, hearing the laughter in my room. I went to sit up but felt like there was someone holding my shoulders down. Invisible hands gripping into my shoulders while I heard laughing. I screamed my little heart out. My mum ran into the room, flicking on the bedside lamp, convincing me that it was just a dream. Until I said, "But what about my shoulders? They hurt." She lifted up my t-shirt and there was 2 adult-sized handprints on my shoulders. I honestly thought that I had imagined it and that it never happened to me at all. But the other day, I mentioned it in passing to my mum, and she went blanket white and said I don't want to remember that. I used to work at a restaurant located in a little strip mall across the street from my house. The location was perfect for me, down the street from my school and across the street from my house. One night I was closing up, just me and 2 owners. We started talking about the ghost in the restaurant. I had only witnessed one event you could call paranormal. The dishwasher had randomly started itself. It was an old restaurant dishwasher, with a button you had to push to make it start. Well, that night we were talking about the ghost. The owners told me some stories of how it would lock doors, knock objects on the floor, turn on the dishwasher when nobody was in the dish pit, and basically do everything possible to make its presence known. As they're telling me this, a jigger, the little shot glasses with one end bigger than the other, goes flying across the restaurant into a wall. Well, my boss totally overreacts and starts yelling and screaming and making a big ruckus. I just end up standing there with my fish out of water, watching all of this. A few minutes of him yelling, the front door slams shut. We had it propped open because it was hot that night. There was no wind at all. This had to be the freakiest night of my life. I'd like to share my story that brought out my belief in ghosts. When I was about 15, I was homesick from school. I lived in a large house with 2 floors and an unfurnished basement. In the basement, I had set up a craft room for painting and staging Warhammer figures in what was once a photographer's darkroom. It was about midday, and my stepdad often came home for lunch. So when I heard the telltale sound of the front door opening, I figured I'd call my mum and let her know he was home and to tell her that I was feeling a little bit better. As I dialed the phone, I listened to him close the door with a slam and walk through the foyer into the kitchen and turn on the tap directly above the craft room. My mum picked up the phone at work and I told her Kay, my stepdad, was home for lunch. She told me that he wasn't going home for lunch, that he was really busy at the office. I froze in terror as the tap was shut off and the person upstairs walked back through the foyer and up the stairs to the bedrooms. My mother told me to hide while she called Kay, minutes away, to come home. I crept upstairs as quiet as a mouse and grabbed the largest kitchen knife and then went back to the basement to hide. Kay was home in about 6 minutes. He scoured the house and found no one, but I never heard anybody leave.